You send a text. An hour goes by. Nothing. Then 2 hours. They've read it. The little receipt is right there. In that silence, what happens to your brain? For some people, it's a minor annoyance. But if you have an anxious attachment style, that silence isn't just frustrating. It feels like a threat. Your chest tightens. You start scrolling through every interaction you've had over the last 48 hours, looking for the exact moment you ruined the relationship. Society calls this being clingy. Pop culture calls it being needy. But psychology calls it something else entirely, a hyperactivated attachment system. If this sounds like you, I need you to hear something right now. You are not broken. You are not too much. Your nervous system is simply running on a survival script that you didn't write, responding to a core wound you probably don't even realize you have. Today, we are taking a masterclass into the anxious preoccupied attachment style. We're going to look at the secret logic behind your overthinking, why you're magnetically drawn to people who pull away from you, and most importantly, the exact blueprint to rewire your brain for a secure, peaceful relationship. Let's dive in. To understand anxious attachment, we have to look at the work of psychologists John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth. They discovered that our early relationships form a blueprint for how we expect to be loved as adults. There are 4 main attachment styles: secure, dismissive avoidant, fearful avoidant, and our focus today, anxious preoccupied. If you have an anxious attachment style, you possess an emotional radar that is incredibly highly tuned. You are brilliantly perceptive. You can walk into a room and instantly feel a subtle shift in your partner's mood. But there's a catch. Because your radar is so sensitive, it constantly registers false positives. A partner who is simply tired is interpreted by your brain as a partner who is losing interest. When your brain perceives this distance, it triggers what psychologists call protest behavior. Protest behavior is any action designed to re-establish connection and force a reaction. It's the late-night double text. It's picking a fight just to see if they'll fight back, because to an anxious brain, conflict is actually preferable to silence. Silence means abandonment. Conflict means they still care. Sometimes protest behavior is passive. It's withdrawing, acting cold, and waiting to see if they notice you pulled away. But beneath all these behaviors is a single, terrifying core belief. I am inherently unlovable, and if I don't work constantly to keep this person, they will leave me. So how does this happen? Where does this come from? A common misconception is that anxious attachment comes from parents who completely abandoned us. But actually, complete abandonment usually creates an avoidant attachment. Anxious attachment is usually born from inconsistent caregiving. Imagine being a kid. Sometimes your caregivers are incredibly warm, present, and loving. But other times they are emotionally unavailable, overwhelmed, or intrusive. Psychologically, this creates something called intermittent reinforcement. In behavioral science, intermittent reinforcement is the most addictive psychological loop in existence. It's the exact same mechanism used in slot machines. You never know when the jackpot of love and attention is coming, so you just keep pulling the lever, trying harder and harder to get it. You learned early on that you have to manage your caregiver's emotions to get your needs met. You became a chameleon, hyper-focused on other people's feelings, while completely abandoning your own. You didn't learn how to self-soothe because the only way you ever felt safe was when someone else validated you. This brings us to the most painful paradox of the anxious attachment style, the anxious-avoidant trap. If you are anxiously attached, logic says you should date someone who is secure, someone who texts back immediately, who loves consistency, and who offers reassurance. But be honest, when you meet someone like that, what do you usually think? They're kind of boring. There's no spark. You confuse anxiety for chemistry. Because your nervous system is wired to associate love with a chase, consistency feels dull. So who do you find irresistibly attractive? The dismissive avoidant. The avoidant partner is fiercely independent, guarded, and values space above all else. When you get close, they pull away. When they pull away, your attachment system lights up like a Christmas tree. You chase, you adapt. You try to fix them. It perfectly mirrors the inconsistent love you received as a child. It feels like home. But it is a home built on a fault line. You end up in a cycle where your need for closeness triggers their need for space, and their need for space triggers your deepest fears of abandonment. So how do we break the loop? You are not doomed to feel this way forever. In psychology, there is a beautiful concept called earned secure attachment. It means that through awareness and practice, you can literally rewire your nervous system to become secure. Here is your 3-step blueprint. 1. Delay the protest. The next time someone doesn't text you back, or your partner asks for space, your chest will tighten. Your brain will scream at you to send that double text or start a fight. Stop. You cannot control the anxiety trigger, but you can control your behavioral response. Give yourself a mandatory 2-hour window before you react. In that time, regulate your body. Go for a walk, take a cold shower, or write down your worst fears in a journal. Break the circuit between feeling triggered and acting out. 2. Learn to state your needs directly. Anxiously attached people are masters at hinting. You pout, you sigh, you withdraw, hoping the other person will play detective and figure out what's wrong. It's time to retire the detective game. A secure person says, "Hey, when you went quiet tonight, I started feeling a little disconnected. I just need some reassurance right now." It feels terrifyingly vulnerable, but it eliminates the mind reading. 3. Build a life outside the relationship. Your partner cannot be your only source of emotional regulation. You must diversify your emotional portfolio. When your entire sense of safety rests on one person, you will inevitably crush them with the weight of that expectation. Cultivate friendships, passions, and a relationship with yourself that is so rich, a partner becomes an addition to your life, not the foundation of it. Having an anxious attachment style means you have an immense, profound capacity for love. You are deeply loyal, highly empathetic, and incredibly attuned to the people you care about. Those are superpowers. You just need to learn how to drive the car, so the car doesn't drive you. The goal isn't to stop needing people. We are human. We are biologically wired for connection. The goal is to believe truly and deeply that you are worthy of a connection that doesn't require you to constantly fight for it. If this video resonated with you, hit the like button so this can reach other people who might be struggling with the same cycle. Subscribe for more deep dives into the psychology of human connection. Take a deep breath. Your nervous system is safe. I'll see you in the next one.